So after the last video when I cast this Matchplate pattern, there was a comment where someone asked a question, wouldn't the irregular surface on it cause the mold to leak and what have you? And well, I get it. It's a good question. You can see there's some little bumps here and there. But overall, the whole thing is pretty darn flat. And what little bumps there are should still be replicated on the other side as a negative. So where you see bumps here, there's little indentations here to match. It should fit well enough to seal up. You know, there might be a tiny bit of flashing, but it's not going to be too thick to be a problem, and it's not going to be a lot. But, you know, time will tell. We'll have to actually get some castings off this thing, so let's see how it works. Alright, here we go. I've got these 3 boxes made up, as square as I can get them. They're 6.5 inches by 8.5 inches interior. So what I want to do is flatten the bottom of the drag so that I can run these through a table saw and cut the cope off and get a perfect parting line. So get out. Yes, I'm going to have to do some vacuuming. Yeah. Pretty much perfectly flat. There's the real test. I'll put the two together and yeah. Yeah, they both to me that means they're both flat. They're not just not wobbling, but they're both actually flat. This one definitely wobbles. And so here we go. Okay, I can no longer tell which one it was that was sticking up. So that seems like a good thing. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, those are good. Nice and flat on the bottom. I'm going to do the tops too, just so they're nicer to strike off. But just one side is enough to get a good registration on the table saw fence to get these parting lines cut perfect. So I got the flasks all cut out and put together, and I cut a bunch of these to use for bottom boards for them. But I don't like having paint on bottom boards because it gets hot and it gets all kind of bubbly and sticky and gross. And these boards are a little cracked and dried up, so thinking I just want to give them a nice flat sanded face on them. You know, they're bottom boards, so it's not critical that they're super flat. But I do have a new toy that my friend Dave Clark, the pattern guy, he made this for me, and I think it's meant for pattern making. You put it in a drill press. It's a safety sander. You might have seen safety planers before. I guess from Dave's video, those are more meant to go in a router, but this is for a drill press. Got some 3-inch pressure sensitive adhesive sanding discs here for it, and figure I can surface these off nice and flat on my drill press with my Dave Clark, the pattern guy, safety sander. And I've been looking for an excuse to try this thing out. It's meant for surfacing, pieces of wood that are too small to go through a planer, that you want to glue up to make, old school wooden patterns, which I definitely want to use it for that too, but I'm just trying it out here on this bottom board. Well, I've got 3 or 4 of them that I made up. So yeah, to the drill press. So removing the paint was a problem. It got warm, it melted, it stuck to the sanding discs. I ruined 2 discs without even getting through the paint layer on the first bottom board before I realized it was just not working out. So I used my heat gun to scrape most of the paint off all of the boards I was making. Then it went much better. It made a quick work of getting these bottom boards really nice and smooth. Made a whole bunch of sawdust in the process, and made me wish that I had a bigger table on my drill press. I got these flasks cut. They match up perfectly. I did lap them a little on my sandpaper board. They don't wobble against each other. They have a flat parting line, and they don't wobble against the bottom boards. Even if they were upside down with the cope on the bottom, they wouldn't wobble. So far, these are the best flasks I've made, I think. But I still obviously have to put the alignment hardware on them, and they all gotta match, so that they all match the Matchplate that I made. So that'll be a fun challenge, making flasks that actually have interchangeable copes and drags. Anyway, the safety sander worked excellent once I got through that layer of paint a different way. After that, it works so good for just, basically like having a planer, but for small pieces. So go check out Dave Clark, the Pattern Guy's YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure somewhere on he's got a video about these things. I think he's got some for sale. So check him out. Hit him up, and check out his videos too. Pretty interesting stuff. So here's where we are so far. I have ground off the sprue. I marked out and drilled the alignment holes, and I used the holes here as a guide to get the holes drilled in the drag. So now that's lined up. Now I use the drag as a drill guide to drill out the cope. These two were finished, pinned and everything, all good. And this one here is working well too, all set up, all ready to go. So the last step, I drilled a hole in here, so I just did that by hand. Just a little hole so that I would know where the sprue is going to go. And drill the hole that fits my sprue pin. So there we go. This thing is all ready to use. we go. Let's see what's in here. A little bit of flash. It looks pretty good. That one looks pretty good too. Another one looks alright so far. We'll see once we really get the sand off them. Actually, there's some real foil thin flashing there. That'll be no problem at all to cut off. This one looks pretty good to me. I'm happy with that. Seeing the same thing here. A little bit of flashing, but it's, you know, it's aluminum foil. I cut it off with a butter knife. Sure is a lot faster than molding 6 of these by hand anyway.